Welcome to Beauty Mastermind TV, a bi-monthly TV series for hairdressers.
Our guest artist will share with you their knowledge of the best cutting, colour and styling techniques. Plus, give you the tips and tools you need to take your career to the next level. Learn why the top stylists are using the best quality tools from Japan, France and Spain. Mizutani, YS Park, Ibiza Hair, Sunlight's Balayage, Ecru, New York and more. Yes! Gain the confidence to become successful with the guys that hardly ever speak in front of large audiences. But when they do, wow!
Your host, Edwin Lombardi and Aaron Joles.
Welcome everyone to beautymastermind.com. Today we have a special guest, Aaron Joles, and he is a co-founder of Ibiza Hair Tools. And today what are we going to talk about?
I guess we can talk about our brushes.
Okay.
When I started this business, I was not a hairdresser, but eventually I became one. I went to school, got my cosmetology license, and I was kind of intrigued. Why are people so obsessed with these brushes? I was having supply problems. I couldn't get enough of these brushes, so as a lot of you know, we run out of stock quite often, and we can't fill our orders. And I didn't know why, and so I eventually started picking them up and, actually liked hairdressing, liked cutting hair, liked blow drying hair. Now I'm, very passionate about cutting hair and blow drying hair. And so I visited our factory many times, and eventually I started using other brushes, and I realized we kind of have a special sauce in our bristles. It's a secret process that goes on to these bristles. It's not just a boar bristle. I mean, we've been knocked off so many times, and no one ever gets it right because they always just put pure boar bristles when they knock it off. But we put in a special carbon fiber nylon into this, and I can't really tell you how we do it and what we do, but all I can tell you is it doesn't get stuck in the hair, and it protects the scalp, and it gives a lot of shine and a lot of body. And over time, people start realizing that, like there is a difference. I'll just give an example of coffee. I'm also really into coffee and tea. When I take my son every Saturday to go get coffee, I pass 4 coffee shops before I go to Lux Coffee on Montana Avenue. And I go to Lux because it is the best cup of coffee I have ever found in Los Angeles. And I noticed the difference. And then I walk actually by the other coffee shops as I take him to the park. I can see the difference. So can the people who use these brushes. So that's it. It's going back to what you want to know is I visited the bristle company. So we actually buy our bristles from a bristle company, and I went by there, and it's basically a husband and a wife, and I did a Google search on their name. I won't tell you their name, but I started to realize that they were the descendants of these bristle producers of art brushes. And then when I started to do research on those art brushes, the people who made those art brushes, they have something very similar to hairdressers. They have really good hands and really good eyes. And to make really good bristles, you kind of have to have that. You have to have a combination of a good eye and a good hands, and you have to have an artisan blood to really want to make something the best. One other thing I want to say is I go to a hair show in Italy quite often. There's one in Bologna, and I ran into a famous hairdresser from Beverly Hills there once, and he wanted to make brushes, and he had this idea of an invention, and he went to some Korean company, and then he told the guy his idea, and the guy said, okay, but you pay mold, and it pissed him off that he'd have to pay the mold. Now, we don't have any mold costs because we only work with wood, but he said something about that manufacturer. He said that guy, he was so mad at the guy, he said that guy, not only does that guy not know anything about hair, but he doesn't even know anything about women. He doesn't talk to hairdressers, he doesn't talk to women, yet he owns a brush manufacturer that makes brushes. So, that's kind of what's out there, is that you have a lot of people making brushes that don't do hair or even talk to women for that matter.
Yeah, I like that information about the artists in Spain.
Yeah.
But now, why don't you talk about the brushes and...
So the brushes, there's just so many different series. These two on my right are part of the G series. What G means is swirled. And swirled bristles are really good for really coarse hair, because if you have a lot of really coarse hair and you're trying to get a brush in, if it's sparse like this, it just kind of goes right in like a glove, so it just grabs right in. So it's perfect for coarse hair. Whereas if we look at this one, which is our EX, very dense, right? So we spend extra money to have it dense. A typical brush like this for most companies would have 16 rows. This has 20. Very dense, very popular in Beverly Hills in New York City because they want to get that real dense, real sleek blow dry, you know, like that Cindy Crawford or Julia Roberts, Jennifer Aniston, just real big. This is more thicker, you know, someone with thicker hair. So that's these. Then we have blondes. Blondes are super popular. Blondes are interesting because at first they were designed for blondes. But actually anyone can use them. Some people feel that they give a little bit more shine than these. And another great thing about these is they camouflage blonde hair. So if you have a lot of blondes coming in, use this. If you have a lot of brunettes, use that. That being said, if you go to Kim Kardashian's Instagram, there's a picture of her taking a selfie and with Chris McMillan in the background, and there's 3 brushes right there with the darkest hair right there. So she prefers blonde and she has dark hair. So you can always break the rules, just like when you were talking in your other videos about using dry cutting scissors. Well, and they're just for dry hair, where you can actually use those on wet hair too, if you know how to. So blonde gives extra shine, they're aesthetically pleasing, and also probably a little bit better for color treated hair, any fragile hair. It's a little bit more gentler. I've had people ask me if there's like if they're ionic or something like that because it leaves such a nice shine on there. So that's that with the blondes. Actually comes in 5 sizes. We don't have all the brushes here.
Before you go on,
Yeah.
one thing I'd like to mention, because I use all the brushes in the salon, the blonde ones I use a lot, and what is so great about using like the size 3, B3 and the B4, or even the B2, is that you can do sets with them, and one, they stay in the hair because they're light.
Yeah.
When you have a brush that the wood handle is heavy, the weight of the handle wants to push the brush out of the hair. So you can have a whole head of brushes, and they're not heavy on the client, and they're it's just very light, and they give a lot of body to the hair.
A lot of shine too.
Yeah.
It's another thing about a brush is these brushes, they have a conditioning effect on the hair. So you have someone with some dry hair, you know, they need a little bit of shine. This does it, with or without product. You know, you can use product or no product. Either way, some people, believe it or not, come in for their weekly blow dry or bi-weekly blow dry, and they specifically say no product in my hair because they know it's going to last a little bit longer. But that being said, sometimes adding the right product can just make it perfect. It's the perfect recipe, you know. So feel free to use your product.
And also, what I think is really great is that we use these really nice brushes on our clients, and we also retail them to our clients. So there's no reason why we should use a good product and achieve a nice look. There's no reason why they shouldn't do the same thing. So these are available at the salon for our clients. And the better tool that the client uses, the better their hair's gonna look, and they're gonna like their haircut better, and recommend their friends more.
Absolutely.
Because they look better.
Yeah, you know, I think it's essential to, you know, think of yourself kind of like a doctor, like, hey, what kind of a brush do you have, or hey, bring in your brushes, let me see what you have, you know, and show me how you're styling your hair, and that there should be a consultation, but there should be some sort of education involved, for sure, because the more they do it, the easier it gets.
Go ahead and finish whatever you're gonna say.
So that one, so those are the blondes. Also, the blonde does come in a bigger size as well. So that evolved from the EX series, which comes in 5 sizes. There actually is an EX1 coming, which are the super dense, to the blonde, to the G series that are swirled. And then we have, which has become increasingly popular, is these really long brushes that are concave. And this one was designed, turn your head this way, Edwin. So you see how Edwin, wow, you really like to put gel in your hair, don't you? You see how that way his head shaped, so the concave just goes right to it like that. So it just perfectly fits the head shape. And it does a lot of really interesting wrapping with this brush, besides grabbing really big sections. So a lot of hairdressers like this. You know, you can just bang out a whole section. What would normally take you 2 sections with, let's say, this brush, you can do in 1 section with this brush. And people really like that. That being said, you have to be pretty strong with this brush. If you have any wrist problems or whatnot, you might think you're finishing quicker, but you might have some pain with that. So this is really for the strong at the end of the day, which is why we made a small version of it that just came out recently that has a red cork handle. It's called the RLX series, so that you can still do the concave wrapping, but it's in a smaller handle and it's not that much pressure on your hands. Anything you'd like to say about those? Do you use those, the Z's?
Well, I just started using.
Okay.
And you know, especially when I watch Hector do the blow dry and he was using that brush. Oh, I got to get that for myself. So I am now using them, and I like it.
And the Z series, and this comes in 2 sizes. It comes in this one and then a smaller one. This one's quite easy to use, and you can recommend it to clients. The other one though, the Z4, that's a very advanced brush, and you know, and you see Hector using it. I wouldn't use that brush unless you've you know, have many years experience blow drying. That being said, some people don't like the concave. If you remember in beauty school, learning about rollers, you know, basically it said there is a such thing as concave rollers, and the reason is it gave an irregular curl to the hair, which can be very modern. You know, it could be that you put some regular curls and some irregular curls, and then at the very end, you know, you're gonna take like a paddle brush at the end of your blow dry, and you're just gonna brush everything into one, twist it around with your hands, shake it out, and just let it kind of mesh into one. So we launched some paddle brushes as well. And these are made for us in Germany, and the company that's been making them are really masters of wood, you know. And this is a special wood that's been carbonized, and you can kind of goes with the ethos of Ibiza because feel how light it is. So it's a really nice wood. It's been heated up so that it's stronger and resistant to water and funguses. And the bristles are actually wood. So this is an amazing scalp massaging brush. It's also heat resistant, which I think I've already said, and anti-static. So it's just a great brush, and we do really well with the paddle brushes. And then one of its sisters or brothers is a half round. So it's basically a half a round brush, also made of that carbonized ash wood, 100% boar bristles. And I brought this into the market because I wanted something for my friends at Vidal Sassoon and my friends in England who still don't use round brushes, even though some have. And so I thought, well, let's bring a half round out to kind of have something for them. A guy by the name of Andrew, who goes by Andrew Does Hair, got one for me at a trade show recently. And because of him, because of Andrew, I'd say another 100 or so barbers are now using these 2 brushes to do a Sassoon technique of just flat wrapping the hair with no product. And they're getting the most beautiful results, just the beautiful waves on like a fade or, you know, on any types of haircuts. And their clients are stoked, and I'm kind of stoked. So sometimes you do something for one type of client, but you end up getting a whole different client for it. And that being said, this brush, you know, it can be really nice for bobs or this and that. And then the brush I personally use every day is this one because it massages my scalp, and I can just flat wrap my own hair in 1 minute. And I really, really love these brushes.
Actually, this one I can see why someone would want to use a half a round brush. Because let's say you take a Denman brush, which is kind of the similar shape. It gives you a straighter look versus a round look. A round brush gives you more poofiness.
Exactly.
So the nice thing about this is you can, especially if you have frizziness to the hair, you can smooth out the frizziness without making it too big.
You can get it nice and Cleopatra and just super. Absolutely. And then for dudes, it gives them nice waves. They can create some really nice waves on that brush. So, and then so we covered most of the round brush here. And then we have this brush, which is an Italian brush, which is the same company that makes our combs, And this is, you know, it's a fancy looking brush, but at the end of the day, it really delivers. For instance, if you're doing a big curl set, you know, like a big roller set, you can just really brush it just goes right through the hair, brushes it out. Looks nice, it's elegant, and you know, feels good in the hand. And that's that. And what else do we have? Our combs. Oh, and our water bottle. This is probably, you know, our brushes are quite addicting, but I think if you cut hair with these water bottles, you won't really want to cut hair with anything else. You can kind of see they're made in Japan. You can kind of see the mist a little bit, you know, right? And I use a little bit on myself, you know, kind of absorb some of those oils in my face, kind of a makeup trick. But this is Michael Polsinelli used to buy these for his academy in Italy, and he didn't call it a water bottle, he called it a cutting tool, because it makes the perfect texture for cutting hair. And really cool little gadget from Japan that we got.
Well, let me add to that. See, when you're cutting hair, especially geometrics, but really any haircut, most water bottles have big droplets of water, and it wets the hair down too much.
Yeah.
Not only that, if you're the customer, it's uncomfortable to get squirted with big sprays of water, especially if it's in the wintertime. Yeah. But with the finer mist, instead of getting the hair wet, you get the hair moist, and you cut a section, you give it a mist, you cut another section, and you get a nice even consistency with the cutting. When we had the other bottles, we had to go from farther away and do like a X, so you would get a finer mist, but then you wet everything around you too. So the Japanese are really good at this kind of stuff.
Totally, absolutely. They're just notorious.
And I'll tell you what else I like about it is this clip. It's light, and this little clip here.
Yeah.
So while I'm cutting, I can keep it right there on my pocket or my belt, and then just pull it out instead of having to reach at my station all the time.
Yeah, it is nice for that. And it comes in, right now, 5 different colors, but it seems the most popular color is clear.
Yeah.
So on our next order, we're just getting clear, but it does come in other colors as well.
And so all of this, brushes, water bottle, all the Ibiza tools, we have them on our website. And just go to beautymastermind.com, and on the menu bar, you'll see store. Click on store, then scroll over products, click on brushes or water bottles. And when you click on any one of those, then if there's a brush that you like, just click on that and it'll give you information. And then add to cart and check out. It's that simple. We ship it out to you right away. I know that you'll love them because they are a great tool. Whether you're a hairstylist or a consumer, everybody loves them.
Oh yeah.
So I guess we should wrap it up, do a little social media.
Yeah, social media.
Okay. So let's call Anthony to do his social media for us.
Just click subscribe. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. Beauty Mastermind.
Well, that was Anthony from 10 Second Songs. You can check him out on YouTube. He's a pretty popular guy. And but social media is a really popular tool for spreading the word. So if you see the subscribe button, click subscribe, leave a comment, share this video, and you need to, any Ibiza products, beautymastermind.com. We'll see you in the next video.